Hey everybody. Um, so I did not record a video yesterday, which was day 152 on the CDT. Um, I finished. I got to the border crossing, and the shuttle I arranged to pick me up arrived early, like an hour early, which was perfect timing. The drive was, I think, an hour and a half, something like that. We got back into town to East Glacier. I immediately started eating town food, got to my hotel, like unpacked everything in my pack to let any kind of moisture get out, and then I started making travel arrangements, which includes a train, and I decided to rent a car rather than fly, so I could just have like a day or two to decompress and kind of go back to Denver on my own pace. So by the time I got around to recording the video, I hadn't showered yet, and it was like 9:30. So I decided to go to bed clean and record the video the day after I got to the border. I also I also planned on recording a video at the border. However, it's closed. There's signs everywhere that the border crossing is closed for the year, and it's illegal to go into that space and blah blah. So I basically got a photo with the terminus, the monument at the terminus, and then walked back to make sure I wasn't dilly-dallying and upsetting anybody. We CDT hikers have been allowed to walk like in that border space. Sorry, in the border space. So U.S., Canada space. The monument's in that space, and so I walked over to the monument and got photos, and then I didn't want to I didn't want to risk a video or whatever, because I heard a car coming from Canada, and it was like, okay, I don't know if this is a border agent. I don't want to make them upset. So and then the shuttle arrived, and I didn't get a chance to record the video even at the trailhead. So sorry about that. Day 152 was pretty straightforward. It's 19 and a half miles. I left from Poya Lake to hike over the Red Gap Pass, made it over to Elizabeth Lake, and then to the Belly River Ranger Station, and then got to the trailhead. So after that large climb, which was about 1,700 feet, I descended down into the fours, and then the CDT is a kick in the pants. It's not. I think the Belly River Station or Ranger Station, excuse me, Belly River Ranger Station, say that 5 times fast, is right around the low point. I think I may have dipped down a little bit, or maybe I dipped down right before that. But in order to get to the trailhead, the last, I think it's like 2.5 or 3 miles, is an 800-foot climb. So the CDT makes you work for it all the way to the end. I went to the Chief Mountain Terminus because I could get a ride back to East Glacier, and since services are shutting down, like the park shuttle, I think has limited service now. It doesn't go to as many areas as it used to. And like 2 days ago, I walked by the Mini Glacier Lodge, and that one is like they're boarding that up for the winter. And so just the limited services, basically, it was easier to go to Chief Mountain, which I think is like 10-ish miles closer than the Waterton crossing. My hope is actually to come back next year in August when the services are open, and hike out to Waterton and do some other stuff in the park, like driving on the Going to the Sun Road and all that kind of stuff. Just a few quick statistics, and it's not really an announcement, I guess just some information. The information, so I'm planning on doing 1 or 2 more videos. One of them will be the like hard statistics of the trail for those interested, like those through hikers or people just interested in math. So that that math vlog will be coming. And then I'll probably do a video, my takeaway about Idaho, Montana. I need a couple days before I do that one. I just need to take a deep breath and remember the good and the bad of Idaho, Montana, so I can give an honest feedback on that. And then I'll probably do one last one on just the trail in general. There's something about this trail that made it more difficult than what I expected, and I think a lot of hikers, when I ask them or talk to them about that, they agree. And I think every person has a little bit different reason, but I think there's probably, my guess is there's one underlying reason why everybody thinks that, and then each personal opinion or viewpoint adds like another layer to it. So I kind of need to think through like what that underlying issue is, because I think I have my finger close to it, but not on it yet. Okay, so some statistics. As I mentioned, it was 152 days. However, if you take out the 0 days, I think it's 133 hiking days. Now, I leave the Nero in because I hike some miles those days, and that's going to bring my average down. But in 133 hiking days, I hiked 2,842 miles. And if you take the average, that comes to 21.4 miles per day. And that includes, like I said, the Neros. And when you're hiking out of town, you only get like 20 miles that day instead of 25, whatever it is. I'm going to be interested to see what the median is. So just a little math refresher. The mean or average is taking everything and finding the middle, which is at 21.4. The median is actually finding the middle based on how many occurrences each mileage had. So if you have a lot of days of 25 miles, then the median is going to be closer to 25 miles. And it takes out the outliers. So essentially, if you use the median, it's going to take out those Nero days. Like, it's going to account for those a little bit better. And just say like, this is how many times you hiked 24 miles, 23 miles, 25 miles, whatever it is. And so I can find the median, and my guess is the median is probably gonna be closer to like those mid-20s. But that'll be in the math vlog that comes in. It'll probably be a few days. I think it'll take me a couple days to travel back to Colorado, and then I'll need to settle some stuff. I got a voicemail yesterday about the real life or real world coming back into my life. And so I got it's not really, it's personal business that I got to take care of. And then I can sit down and do some math and get that to you. Also, I have like 14 or something, 16, I don't know, videos that I need to post, so I'll do that. So essentially the takeaway is 133 hiking days, 21.4 miles a day average, got me 2,842 miles. I walked from Mexico to Canada in a continuous line, so I have continuous steps the entire way. And it was a traditional through hike where I did not jump around. I actually hiked all the way from Mexico to Canada straight through. And most of the hike was on what is referred to as the red line or the CDT proper. So in our navigation app that most people use, the CDT proper they use red to show that line, and then alternates are different colors. And so that's why if you ever hear a CDT hiker call it the red line, they're talking about the CDT proper, and most of my miles were on the CDT proper. I didn't take any cutoffs. I took a few alternates, but they added mileage in some cases. And I think those alternates were half dozen or fewer. I'll have to think through that. and I didn't take any of the shortcuts. So like in the app where it says, hey, if you do this road walk, you'll remove 3 miles of the CDT and 900 feet of elevation. I think I only took 2 of those, or maybe 3 of them, and it was fire closures for 2 of the 3. So I set out to hike 3,000 miles to try to hike as much of the red line as possible. And I did not want to take an alternate or a cutoff or a shortcut to avoid something on the CDT. I wanted to take an alternate to go see something. And I think I achieved that. I did not get the 3,000 miles, but the National Forest closure in New Mexico, like all 3 of the closures, that impacted my ability to get to 3,000 miles. That was a primary issue. So yeah, it was a long 5 months. That trail is something special. I'll talk about it more during the kind of final thoughts on this CDT, but I remember the last day on the Pacific Crest Trail and the last day on the Colorado Trail. I was both excited and sad that the hike was coming to an end. I was excited that I accomplished something, but I think the sadness was actually stronger because this amazing something had come to an end, and I'd go back to working a job or doing whatever. Hiking in yesterday to the end, there was one section where I was hiking through an open space, and there were aspen, and the aspen had just started changing colors. There were mountains to the left, and the mountains reminded me of the Elk, the San Juan, and the Sangre de Cristo mountains in Colorado that kind of have that craggy rock that has just been buffered by wind and snow and ice and all that kind of stuff. So that crumbly rock. And it was probably, I don't know, a mile or 2 across this open space. And I looked around and I thought to myself, man, I feel like I'm hiking in Colorado. And I felt the heart strings pull for getting home to Colorado. And I felt a little nostalgic, and I thought about like the beginning back in the desert in New Mexico. And I thought about all the different, not all, but many of the trials and tribulations of this trail. And so there was like that 1 or 2 miles of nostalgia when I was hiking through that section that looked like Colorado. The other 17 and a half miles, I was like, I just want to get done. There was no sadness. It was like, I am ready to be finished with this hike. I remember the last 2 miles I was flying, even though it was uphill. I think I was doing like 3.5 miles an hour. The Pacific Northwest Trail actually comes in and intersects the Pacific or the Continental Divide Trail. And I was coming up to that intersection, and I wanted to get a picture there because I want to hike the Pacific Northwest Trail. And I didn't realize it. I blew by it. It was a half mile before I recognized that I blew by it. Because I was like so focused, and I was hiking quicker than I thought just to get to the end, like the trailhead and the terminus. So I'm sure there's going to be sadness in the next couple of days, especially when I'm driving home over the next 2 days. But yeah, there was that mixture of sadness and excitement for it to be like, for me to accomplish something, to be finished. Like, I didn't experience that like I did on the Colorado Trail and the PCT. This was just like, I want to get finished. I want to get out of grizzly country hiking solo. I want to put the final stamp on this hike and say I've done it and I'm finished, and let's do something next. All right, so that's day 152. I'll get these videos posted as quickly as I can, so all you know what's happened, because it's been a roller coaster over the last 2.5 weeks, And I hope everyone's doing well. And thanks for watching the videos, especially those troopers who've been with me the whole way. And I'll talk to you folks soon. Bye.